Welcome back, everybody. This is Nick here again. Just wanted to do another video here of my tanks. It's feeding time after work today, and so I wanted to do a quick video on that. And there was a couple things I mentioned yesterday I wanted to explain a little bit more, like my DIY CO2 setup and the tannins. So we're going to start off by feeding my beta here. Got usually about 2 or 3 pellets laid out. They're a little big, but he'll eat all 3 of them if you let him, so keep him from getting nice and plump. Just watching. Goes after those much quicker than the frozen food there. Enjoys those a little bit more. Well, he'll get that one. Anyways, he'll figure it out. Shrimp's still over there. He's doing a little bit of work on the algae. Nothing fantastic yet. Yeah, moving over to the 10. Everybody's waiting there. I usually feed them at the top left corner, so they're all hanging out in that area. And for them, we've got Spectrum. Those are the bug bites there that my beta enjoys. He did not really take to anything else until I tried those. So, anyways, I usually take about 1, maybe 2 pellets per fish. And I do have to break them up a little bit because of the green tetras in there. Have a tough time swallowing them. So, usually just same thing as the beta. Stick them in my finger. And dunk them in. And they're somewhat trained. If I didn't have food on my finger and just kind of tap the water surface like that, they would actually all swim over, which I think is kind of neat. Give them the rest. They'll clean it up. And excuse me. Over to my wild. He was a little stressed when I got home. Sorry about the background noise there. But he's coming back nicely. I'm not sure why he was stressed out, but here he goes hiding in his leaf. Told you, I'm taking pictures or videos. That's where he goes. Got dinner. So anyways, tonight's diet we've got, instead of frozen brine shrimp, we've got some frozen Daphnia instead. And what I normally do is feed everybody pellets in the morning and frozen or more pellets at night. That might be a little much, but that should give me plenty. Oh, come on, dude. You see him all below you. Oh, maybe I didn't give him enough. There we go. And he'll start chasing them down. Maybe give him a little more. Anyways, I realized yesterday towards the end of my video there, which was quite lengthy, My description and my breakdown for my tanks kind of deteriorated by the time I got to this guy here. I was a little, let's say, distracted with his abilities to jump, so I fell into that a little bit deeper. Anyways, this substrate here is the same that I use in my 10-gallon and the 30-gallon. I'm sorry, my 5-gallon and the 30-gallon, and that is the Eco Complete. 10-gallon just has sand. And as far as the plants goes, there's more cardamines, water sprites, and java ferns. I know I went over that a little bit yesterday. But as far as the heater, it is the same one I use in my 5-gallon. The one in the 5-gallon is actually a little too big for it. I don't want to say too big, but let's just say it keeps it well warmed. They're both the Aqueon, I believe 50 watt, which is suitable, I think, up to 10 to 15 gallons if I'm not mistaken. This is only a 9. So it does the job, keeps the tank at 78, pretty even. The filter came with the kit, which is the Fluval Flex 9-gallon, and that is a submersible filter that is kept in one of the back compartments. So it gets the same fertilizers as the rest of my tanks. The light is equal to 7,500 K as far as the box says. But further going on to my tannins, the wild betas really appreciate that. I'm honestly still learning a lot about it myself, but you know, it does make them comfy. It makes them you know, kind of feel like they're more in their natural habitat, which has a lot of decaying plant matter and driftwood, and maybe not so much driftwood, more so the plants. But anyways, it helps them heal if there's ever any damaged scales or fins. It does kind of help them out with that. It makes them feel comfy. When you get these guys in shipment, because I did import them from Thailand, they are colorless, so you gotta have to make sure you're looking at the right ones. The tannins also does make their color come back a little bit quicker, again, because it's comforting. So the concentrate I mentioned yesterday is nice because if your driftwood or your leaves have stopped leaching tannins, you can take a little bit of that and simply drop it in the tank until you get the right tint for it. So it's just really nice to have on hand as far as a quick addition if need be. So, a giant teddy bear. Anyways, it's pretty simple. We have Indian almond leaves, so I take about 10 of those, put them in a pot of water, and boil it, really, for about 20-30 minutes. I did at least 30 minutes. You know, the longer you boil it, the more tannins. So, and again, that was thanks to the betta brood. Let me correct myself from the last video. But anyways, back to the last subject here is my DIY CO2. You can buy the kit, which is pretty much just the hoses, caps, gauge, all that good stuff online. And that is using citric acid and baking soda. It's not as scary as you might think. The worst part of it is keeping an eye on that gauge there, which should be in the green area. It's a little bit higher than when I left this morning for work, but that's the risk you take with DIY. It's really not that hard to regulate if you pay attention to the fluid level, the pressure, where it's at in the beginning of the day. And if it's high, you can pull it out, make sure it's above the surface, and it won't create a reaction. You should be safe. I did install a T, and that is a clip that holds a hose shut. When I go to bed at night, I turn on the air stone. I usually have that on all day, and unclamp that so there's no CO2 going to the tank, and it's just a reassurance that it's not getting any CO2. So, but at that point you can close the valve and yep, wake up the next morning and reset it. So, anyways, just a follow-up. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.